Which ones do we connect? Connect my thoughts, connect the dots.
Supposing there was yet another visitor tonight, that would also resolve the issue of why my sleeves were upended twice.
Your sleeves.
We know that the shelves were disturbed once before and once after the murder. So it shouldn't be much of a stretch to think that it was the work of two different people. Once by the person who stole the victim's gun and then killed him with it, and once again after the murder by our second culprit. Who was the owner of the second gun? If we suppose that the second culprit's gun was the one that was pointed at my back.
Objection!
Mr. Portsman, it seems that I need to amend my assumptions regarding this case.
Great! So you finally come to your senses. Sir Edgeworth!
Sir, what are you saying? This has been a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I had assumed that the person I ran into was the killer, but that may not be the case.
What do you mean?
The person I ran into was just your average thief.
A thief? But, sir, doesn't that cause some sort of contradiction in facts?
Not at all. It simply means that the killer was someone else. And it means, in actuality, two culprits stole into my office tonight.
I mean, that is like a proper sentence to steal into a place. It's weird that they're using it here when we're talking about a thievery case.
Yeah, no, it's no.
What do you mean, two?
It explains both why my shelves were disturbed twice and how there were two guns. Mr. Portsman tricked Miss Bird and gained entry into my office.
Objection!
Ah, you're just leading the argument. You still don't have any actual proof, you know?
If you could please go along with my hypothetical scenario for now, Mr. Portsman. In the end, if you really are innocent, you should have nothing to worry about. Now then, returning to my scenario, Mr. Portsman was out to steal something from me, which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves. This is the first time.
So then, this would be when the files were put back in the wrong order, right?
Correct. And then, just when he was about to look somewhere else, who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Faith?
Pay attention to your phone.
Right?
But why did Mr. Faith come into your room, sir?
He probably had business with Mr. Portsman, which is why he was in the area. But that's when he noticed sounds coming from my office, would be my guess.
Oh, because you were supposed to be away, right?
And he must have thought it was odd, so he came into the office to check it out.
Correct. And as a detective, that was the right thing to do.
But when he came in, he found his own partner standing there.
Because it was Mr. Portsman, Mr. Faith probably let his guard down. But Mr. Portsman was not so merciful as to let him leave alive. He waited
Sad.
for a chance and stole Mr. Faith's gun from him, and then... pop. He killed him. He silenced Mr. Faith for catching him in the act of stealing. This was the moment in which the first shot was fired, the one that landed in my files. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped the gun down and left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he had also left the fake dying message behind.
Gumho.
You're such a complicated troublemaker, you know that?
Well, if things were as simple as that, then all would be solved. However, there was yet another visitor to my room. And this is where it gets complicated.
There was another?
Visitor, sir.
Yes, and this other person's objective was also to steal something from me.
Oh, is it Manfred von Karma?
No, Francesca. Duh. No.
He's in prison, I think.
Yeah, and Francesca's a good girl, so... Well,
Yeah.
I mean, she's naughty, but she's a good girl.
She's naughty in the right ways.
Oh, yeah. Now then, even after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so... they stole the master key from the security guard's room, and then entered my room and searched through my shelves.
This is so convoluted.
This was the second time they were disturbed, and it seems the thief found their prize.
The stolen zero file, right, sir?
Correct. Only just as the thief was about to leave with the file, I appeared. The thief then threatened me with their own gun, and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during that brief encounter.
So the shelves getting messed up twice and the 2 bullets, it was all because 2 different people were doing those things at 2 different times?
Precisely. So now do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met was just a thief, and was not, in fact, Mr. Faith's killer. Your alibi for the time frame in which I ran into the other person is now irrelevant.
This seems like such a reach.
Because we now know that the murder took place during the first culprit's visit.
Objection!
What's so funny, pal?
Absolutely splendid. Your scenario explains everything.
In the biggest pile of shit mess I've ever seen.
I know, this is such a stupid conclusion.
Of course it does. It's Mr. Edgeworth after all.
But you know, it still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial.
This is very true.
Supposing if, and that's a big if, your theory is right, it would indeed render my alibi, which has withstood scrutiny, mind you, irrelevant. Pardon me, I need to flash my pecs at you just a little bit more. But there is still one defining point of your argument for which you have no evidence. Your supposition that I was the first visitor.
Ah, Mr. Edgeworth, you can't let him get away with that, sir.
But he has a point. I have absolutely no proof at this point.
Don't say that, sir.
I don't believe this. Don't worry, Maggie. I'll do something if I must.
You know something? I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. If the person you met really was just a plain old thief, then why is that person not your main suspect? That is, if your theory is correct.
Oh, Jesus Christ, another one?
I still have very beautiful eyelashes. That you ran into should be your real suspect, wouldn't you say? We should be out there looking for that thief right now. They might still be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was toiling in my room. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at Criminal Affairs. So I can't be expected to know what happened around here after I left.
So you think we should be out there looking for the thief?
Of course. Now isn't the time to be wasting time on dead-end discussions.
I don't think it's at all dead-ended. I find your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? Hey! I know he's lying. I know he was here, at the scene of the crime. I just have to find a way to prove it.
Lipadel!
Hold it!
Yes?
Actually, no, I wouldn't.
Why not?
That's elementary. The dying message, of course. Mr. Faith's killer very clearly left those letters on the spines of these files.
Handwriting analysis.
All right, and it was after they were on there that the thief stole one of them.
You mean the zero files, right?
And that's how we also know the letters themselves were a setup and not from Mr. Faith. If the thief was the killer, do you think they would try to undermine themselves?
Maybe the killer just didn't think of that either? Yes, that must be it. Maybe, just maybe. We should be looking for the thief right now!
Once escaped, I highly doubt a thief would linger nearby.
You never know. Maybe they didn't get what they were really after.
Oh, you talk like you know quite a bit about this thief.
On the contrary. It's nothing like that. I have no idea about anything. After all, I hate to repeat myself, but I'm always repeating myself!
But according to Mr. Faith's note...
Hold on, I thought we already cleared that up. Didn't we say that Jim left that note for me in the early evening? If you have proof that he left it at a different time, say, just before he was murdered...
I don't have any, no.
You see? So I insist again that that I was in my office the entire time. Hold on a second.
Why didn't you go there with Mr. Faith?
That's because he said he was tired and was going to take a quick nap.
That's weird.
You know those sofas in the hallway? He likes to sleep on those, is one of his habits.
And what of the evidence he brought?
What of it? There were things related to yesterday's case. Just 2 items, a gun and a pendant. Why would he mention the gun if he's trying to be innocent?
A gun and a pendant from a different case. However,
but if we can prove it was fired, yeah.
No. Check this out. 3 pieces of evidence.
Oh! Look at you, big braining over here.
Interesting. This piece of testimony seems too crucial to let slip through the cracks. 2 items, huh? Well, present. Objection! Only 2 pieces. I believe the proper phrase here is, you fail.
Eh? Excuse me? Excusez-moi?
You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Portsman, as you intend to keep evidence hidden from me.
What are you talking about? I haven't hidden anything from you.
Well, here's a piece I think you should read carefully.
It says that Mr. Faith was bringing 3 pieces.
Yes, and this is the victim's real dying message to you, Mr. Portsman.
I can't believe to get tripped up by simple arithmetic.
Where is the missing piece of evidence?
It's...
You have it, don't you? Only the guilty would make such a face.
I know not of what you speak.
Detective Gumshoe.
You don't have to say it, sir. I'll pat the guy down from head to toe.
Oh. What? Don't come any closer. I'm warning you.
This is all part of the investigation, pal. So don't even think about stopping me.
Don't you pal me? No! Oh.
Hey, what's this? He had this on him, sir.
Despite what you said, it would appear that you have something to hide.
But why would he hide something like that?
I think I might have missed what it was.
It was a VHS tape.
Oh.
There's only one reason why anybody would hide evidence of this caliber. Because it would unequivocally point to that person himself as the real killer.
I was like, what's happening?
Let's examine this videotape in a little more detail. For the section of the tape that will drive the last nail into his coffin.
Oh!
Oh, shit!
But first, KG8 incident. The KG8 incident.
That's a police case number, sir. Does that mean this video is evidence from that case?
Interesting. However, what's recorded on this isn't what's important right now. Let's give the case a
VHSs.
thorough once-over.
Ah! That's blood, isn't it?
Yes, and I believe this is what the good prosecutor was trying to hide from us. This blood is still fresh.
You mean this might be Detective Faith's blood?
No, you've got it all wrong.
No amount of denial can save you. We have but to run a blood test to find the truth.
You know, that'll take 4 to 6 weeks.
You told us that you had received evidence from the victim earlier. Now will you tell us when and how did the victim's blood find its way onto this video?
Yeah, it's totally suspicious.
Was it at the moment of his death? Did the Detective Faith have his videotape on his personage when you killed him?
No, very well, there's no way to prove that.
Not even if we were to examine this tape for fingerprints. If I had to take a guess, I'd say that the only ones on here would be the murderous...
Onto the murderous you.
Yeah, okay. Would belong to the murderous you and Mr. Faith.
No, impossible. I.
Oh God! Oh my God! That's fucking great. Oh, and now he's dead. Oh my god.
And never again will he try to steal Edgeworth's office.
Oh my god, that was funny. Oh boy.
Oh man, I wish I had... Oh. What? Sorry, I'm looking up the Phoenix Wright anime, and they have it for video on Prime.
Yeah.
But you have to buy it, but I need like $75 for it.
Oh gross, no, just buy it physical.